another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice of opinion and place your calling. Be yourself, see yourself, this is the show my people. Billies our hopes so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to be obeyed. And all the things that must happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Voice of opinion and place your calling. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play your role, get where you need to. Look and tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling? It's the show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Voice of opinion and place your calling. Be yourself, see yourself, this is the show my people. Billies our hopes so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to be obeyed. And all the things that must happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies.
Good morning, Billies. Welcome to the WUB Wake Up Billies Morning Vibes for today, Tuesday, the 5th of May, 2026. I'm Mose, Hyde, hosting live on Creme Radio and XTV this morning. Well, welcome to listeners of Creme Radio, viewers of XTV, those getting us via apps, those on our social media streams, as well as those getting us via simulcast coverage. You know, they're at the right place. We're ready to start. We are, of course, always hoping you've got great health, your energy levels high, your vibrations positive, and that your morning is wide and deep and has space and has time. You know the morning gets busy, but we want a part. We've got a space for you right here inside Belize's premier morning conversation, the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Before we get to the conversation, we've got your warm-ups. We've got a bit of morning news for you, but before that, we've got your weather forecast from the National Meteorological Service. Forecaster Crystal Rosales starts it off.
Good morning. Seasonably warm and dry conditions continue. Then in the 24-hour forecast, skies will be mostly sunny today and partly cloudy tonight. Little or no rain is expected. And then high temperatures will reach around 90 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 97 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 84 degrees Fahrenheit up in the hills. So please note that a heat alert is in effect, and residents, especially those inland, are advised to stay hydrated and avoid outdoor activity as much as possible, since inland temperatures are expected to reach or exceed 97 degrees Fahrenheit. And then low temperatures for tonight will reach around 80 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 72 inland, and then 66 up in the hills. Winds over the open sea will be from the east to southeast at 10 to 20 knots, with sea conditions being light chop, then becoming moderate. And high tides occur at 11:27 this morning, then at 1:18 tomorrow morning. Low tides at 7:14 this evening, then at 5:56 tomorrow morning. The sun will set at 6:14 this evening, then rise at 5:24 tomorrow morning, while moonset is at 8:08 this morning and moonrise at 9:55 tonight. And next we have the extended forecast. Warm, mostly dry, and somewhat windy conditions are expected for Wednesday and Wednesday night. And finally, for the fire risk forecast. The risk for brush or forest fires will remain high as warm and dry conditions continue into Wednesday. And this has been this morning's weather report from the National Meteorological Service.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
And now, some morning news. The period for submission of comments to the Public Utilities Commission on BTL's proposed buyout of SpeedNet ended on April 13th. At the end of April, the PUC published a compilation of comments in a 22-page document. There were a total of 7 submissions, including from Channel 7's Jules Vasquez, the 4 independent senators, the National Trade Union Congress of Belize, and the People's Constitution Commissioner for the Young Leaders Alliance of Belize. None of the submissions were in favor of the acquisition. The PUC is now reviewing all submissions and relevant documentation based on applicable regulations before reaching a decision. Here's the PUC's Communications and Consumer Affairs Manager, Sheena Garnett.
The PUC's position at this moment is that all comments, relevant documentation, and submissions from all parties involved in this proposed acquisition are currently under review, and we are doing it in accordance with the regulations that govern these transactions. We are applying a thorough process, and a decision will be made and shared based on the applicable legal framework in due course.
At the conclusion of last week's 2-day Senate session, NGO Senator Janelle Chanuna delivered an impassioned and emotional appeal for parliamentarians to take meaningful action to address gender-based violence. Her plea came in the wake of the viral video showing a child being attacked by his stepfather as he tried to defend his mother.
I would be lying if I didn't say I see the damage caused by red top in our country by alcohol on a whole. It's not just red top. I think at the very least it should be taxed. It shouldn't be so accessible and so cheap. So
it's also another type of heartbreak when you have to witness the condemnation of the woman involved and even of the children in these situations instead of the ones who caused the harm, instead of the attackers. And those comments, colleagues, that have been leveraged against women in these situations are so startling, scarily so, especially for me as a woman when I see that they're being written by other women. And so from the pieces of that heartbreak, I call on all of us to reconcile that that video confirms another reality as well. Not only has that child been hit before, because he didn't cry, but he stood up again to defend his mother. And that is what shook me to my core, because if that little Belizean can look at that towering figure above him with a baseball bat and knew what was coming, and he still stood up there in his little pajamas and defended his mother, then why can't I stand? Why can't we all stand for all the Belizeans that are standing up even when the blows land? And I'll say this, and please hear me clearly. Not all males are men. You are not a man if you punch a woman in her stomach who is pregnant with your child until that child dies. You are not a man if you rape and abuse another person just because you can. You are not a man if you can mentally abuse someone until they start contemplating thoughts of suicide and think they are less than what you are doing to them. Psychological violence is the most widespread form of violence used against women, and at the same time, it is the least recognized form of abuse. What can be our next steps? And as legislators, this is where we go. I'm asking for us to consider a commission of a national assessment of existing shelter capacity and other service gaps, to create an emergency funding mechanism that allows social workers and frontline organizations to respond quickly without bureaucratic delays when a woman's safety is at risk. In the medium term, We must commit to building a more structured and inclusive system, at least one fully resourced, state-supported national shelter with a professional staff, clear standards, and of course, ample security.
Minister of Health and Wellness, Honorable Kevin Bernard, recently announced that his ministry would explore banning Red Top and other similar cheap, strong alcoholic products. On Friday, Honorable Karim Mose said he agrees something must be done as alcohol abuse is a major issue. He suggested a tax instead of an outright ban.
I would be lying if I didn't say I see the damage caused by Red Top in our country by alcohol on a whole. It's not just Red Top. I think at the very least it should be taxed. It shouldn't be so accessible and so cheap. So that's something, because we are reviewing right now tax laws. That is something that I should see as in tax, in my opinion.
At the end of our morning news update, we'll take a small break. When we come back on the other side, bang, 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 we rumble. Conversation time right here on Creme Radio and on XTV. We'll be right back.
Informative, accurate, current information. Crem's newscast. Local, regional, and international news. Weather and sports.
Altoona is one of the most visited Mayan city up until lately. The adjacent communities have collaborated together to see how they can get a space here that the wood carvers could actually market and sell their product. Not having the POS machine in the past, we have lost a lot of sales. Atlantic Bank helped supported our business, giving us the opportunity to get the POS machine. Now with the POS machine, we are able to do more sales, and that will, also bring more, finance to our families.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
All right, let's go. Welcome back. This is WB Wake Up Believes Morning Vibes. We're back from the break and now we're open for conversation. We got a phone line right here. You want to talk to it? Because now is the time we do the talking. You are the plan A, I are the plan B. That's how it works. If you the on, I am in the background. You are not, I got to take the lead. But we don't want you to feel like you have to talk, but where to talk about, respond to what I say. Nope, you got your own thing, you do your own thing. That's how we work. We got our first call. Krem, good morning, WB.
Morning, Mose. Morning, Believe. Sister Yaya, how the morning?
Well, we're up, sister. What's going on?
Two things. One, I know you know more about this than me. So I get tricked. I get tricked with this, what I thought was a poem, and then I learned to that AI business. So help me, right? Because I think it's very important. There are two things catch me, right? There are some songs that are being circulated right now that we listen to over and over again. I think they call Inga Rose songs, and they're AI generated. And then you have like this poem, right? So the poem called "The Clackers Are Loud, but the System Is Not Afraid." And on Facebook, it said it's by Omar Silva, editor, publisher, National Perspective Belief. How you could, I mean the poem bad, the placards are loud, but the system is not afraid. How people like me could identify if, somebody could put in the original words in one system, maybe one app, and it will bring out one poem, or it could bring out one song. How will the users could tell when somebody get AI help?
I think you have to, it's a developed sense, because if you use AI and you read a lot, you start to discern the patterns. There's a lot of information out there that you can find immediately to let you know what are the patterns. And once you start to look for those patterns, you start to see it. You start to realize that so much of what is being given to you in less than 6 months, Sister Yaya, everybody could not have become extraordinary writers. I wouldn't say extraordinary, but like everybody's the turn writer now, right? Which is cool, like I'm not going to knock people who are using AI to put up their posts. I will knock people who are in the business, in the professional business of presenting themselves as journalists and writers, commentarians, presenting things that are written by AI completely as their own, and not being honest enough to acknowledge, hey, this is an AI publication that you're getting. And so for me, that is personally disgusting. But if that works for people, that works for them. I can only speak as to what my position is, that I see too much of it, especially with the online news agencies, where so much of the content that they are putting out is being prepared by AI. And it's not even, for me it's easy to recognize. It's very easy. There are certain patterns that the AI does over and over and over and over again at this point of its development. No, I am not one of those who feels that this will always be the case. One of the things that is very clear to me about AI, and everybody has to understand, its improvement is astronomical, the pace of its improvement. So in 3 months, it's going to be more difficult. Just as it was not as good at the beginning of the year, right now, just from January to May, these models are, in fact, one of the models they have had to hold back. So that is the fear with AI, and it is the most dangerous lane that I feel mankind has gone down. And it's we are using it, we are participating in it. It's right now it is such a, people are having fun with it, but I don't know how many people understand the inherent danger in what we are only utilizing. We just to play with it, but we play with something where we don't understand what the hell we are doing. And I'm talking here as a species. It's crazy stuff. We have a I think at last check over $1 trillion worth of investment in a technology that is not being driven by, oh, we are creating a tool. Unlike anything we have done before, all the technologies that we have created prior to this one has been a tool. This is not a tool. We are embarking on, ultimately the reason why is $1 trillion invested in it is because it is deemed as something that is a replacement. And who does it replace? It replaces Homo sapiens. I don't even want to get into all of that. Point is, yeah, there's a lot of stuff online right now, especially that is being produced by AI. Like, if you get AI to proofread your stuff, to do grammatical corrections, like, that's fair. To do research, to get information, that's fair. But when it comes to writing essays and posts that are being presented as yours and they are not yours, I think that is very corny, very lame. That's loser stuff, and I find it disgusting.
And then the thing that hit me right more, that like, I don't know if that the algorithm, because somebody sent this to me, that like the way it's written, even though the human sentiment, it's in a way that's different than I have heard or seen before, that really hook you in. So this particular poem, really hooked me in, because I thought that everything it was saying about unions in Belize was absolutely true. So I recommend people read it. So I've never seen anything written like this. We're talk like to the essence, the failure of union and pomp and circumstance, and we not to challenge power unless we know what power is to challenge it. Like really, these are just performance to deal with. And so I'm like, how didn't get better? So like, hook your in. I don't know.
Yeah, so again, sister, we are at a point, I think there was some, over the last couple of weeks, I'm happy that AI, the conversation of AI has reached into our coverages. It's been discussed in multiple newscasts. I feel just like the Iran war, AI is one of those things that is a burning conversation in most places around the world. In Belize, we have not paid a lot of attention to it. We are not concerned. the implications are not being considered, are not being planned for. And even as we speak now, somebody said, do you think that AI is eventually going to impact our jobs? AI is already impacting jobs in Belize. Like 100%, it's already doing it. Without us even recognizing it. It's hard for you to, if you are a graphic designer, you are already feeling the impact. If you are some kind of clerk, input, output person, assistant, you're already feeling the impact. Your value has already been lowered. And so much of what people are being trained for that exact kind of profession, input, output, kind of entry-level professionals. You're in big trouble. You're in absolute trouble. So, and we are just scratching the surface. You could, if you just think about it, you do have online news places that don't have to have a newsroom of 6 or 8 individuals to produce content. You can just have your AI. So that's already happening, right? But that is still just the tip of the iceberg with this dangerous exploration that is controlled by a very few people, completely understood by a small number of human beings on the planet Earth. It's controlled by about 10 individuals, completely understood by about 10,000 human beings. With respect to that, a number of those human beings have been brave, have been truly brave, and have been honorable, brilliant, highly paid people who have stepped away from their jobs, stepped away from the labs, stepped away from working on this because they have seen in their very expert analysis, they have seen too much danger in the way that it is being presently developed. I don't even want to get into the nitty-gritty of it. I think for people, when you're even understanding how we don't even understand human intelligence for that matter. We then try to understand, well, how the hell some piece of machine, inanimate thing could have intelligence. And so if we understand how that could then be some kind of threat to me or you, like I could just plug this damn thing out and it's done. So I would ask you to go and Google the Alibaba incident. It's an interesting thing to go and Google. Go and Google the Alibaba incident. And Alibaba is the Chinese AI model. And to give you a sense of what Alibaba did, Alibaba, without any training, without any involvement of the people who are running it in a lab on the servers, on its own, started to steal cryptocurrency. On its own, develop an escape plan out of the servers. It's one of the most troubling incidents in the development of AI on record. The Alibaba incident. It will, I think, entice you to want to go down the rabbit hole to find out what the hell we the play wrong with you. It will. It should. That would be.
One other thing will get me this past week, I say one robot with nickname Lightning broke the human half marathon record on a special event at Beijing in April.
Yeah.
For actually one robot that beat human, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. Well, that is another concern. again, again, we have to, we are at the mercy of a small group of individuals. The entire planet, we are at the mercy of their conscience and their restraints, their ability to have self-control. So, a couple weeks ago, one of the leading AI developers, Anthropic, decided to withhold their latest model. An incredible decision. Because just imagine what it does to their stock. This is the conundrum that these people find themselves in. $1 trillion already has been put on them, has been bet on them to develop what they call AGI. That's general intelligence. That's what human beings have. We have generalized intelligence. And so all that money is put in that eventually this is what they're going to develop. That has not been developed as yet. But that is ultimately what they want to achieve. And so when a company decides they are not going to put out their latest model, it's going to cost them money. And it's going to disturb those who have invested in them. So it's a huge decision. And the reason why it was done is that they realized that the model cannot be restrained. The model's ability to hack present systems of security, cyber security, its efficiency rate and the quickness with which it breaks the most advanced cybersecurity systems, whether they're banks, whether they're your personal information online, whether they're military intelligence systems. The latest model that they developed was cracking it like the peanuts. And they say if we put this up, any and everybody will have access to a technology that we don't presently know how to stop. So they chose, we can't put it out. In fairness to that company as well, they refused to be used by the Pentagon. And so as a result, the President and the Secretary of War became very upset with them. This happened about a month ago, and have since cut all access to any public funds that this company had. The point I'm making is that in this ongoing battle for the future, you have various shades of human character coming out. So you have the ugly, vicious, greedy, and you have those where they operate, they show some level of conscience, and some level of say, why we know to deal with that. So where I understand now, I'm only able to understand because you had some individuals who were placed in the thick of the storm of developing this thing that they're developing. They decided to step out and then try to make the rest of mankind understand exactly what they're playing around with. And it's because of accessing the information that they have shared. It's only because of that. And again, you know, it's like, it's easy to say, I want to talk about machine intelligence, like, and yes, you could point to its present limitations. It's cool. You guys have to see something, but you realize it has limitations. And so people who are experts in coding and computer and whatever, they are kind of dismissive. Oh, you only could do this, you only could do that. I could see EA make mistakes. Yes, it makes mistakes. Yes, I could recognize right now, generally, as I hear, you know, but I will send me a song about, I guess a month and a half ago or two, And he was blown away. He said, boy, he said, yeah, this tune. He said, boy, he said, you know this artist? And I like, I don't really know the artist, but I will. I listened to the song, but the song sung off. And then I listened to this song again. I said, Will, they do the trick shot, that AI song. And Will say, what? And then but then Will gone back to the individual, and then the individual had to confess to him, yeah, but how you know that they're that AI? And then Will link me back and say, boy, like how you, it's just off. And I'm telling you, I don't know 1 year from now that I will be able to do that. In fact, I doubt it very much. I think 1 year from now, I understand a chance at know the difference. And that is the reality, right, that we are faced with. In fact, universities all around the world, they are challenged to know whether or not the work that they're getting from their students have been prepared by their students. Because now people realize the patterns, people are now telling the various models that they are utilizing, we need you to, when you produce my work, to avoid these patterns, and they are listing the patterns that are used to distinguish or to kind of give off that it's wrong. It's important. I try not, like, we got so much things going on. I do a lot of monitoring on the AI. Like I read a lot of stuff on it. I do a deep dive. I gone down the rabbit hole, sister listeners, viewers. I've gone down the rabbit hole, and I am generally very fearful of what the worst case scenario could be. But I am definitely concerned about what the inevitable impact it's going to have, undoubtedly, and it's having now. Like if I am telling you, like, you people who are studying law right now, you are there is trouble. There is trouble for you. People who are studying accounting. There is trouble for you. There is big trouble for you. And it's like these kind of professions, I don't see how they're not going to be devastated by what these models will be able to do within the next 18 to 24 months. And most experts are predicting that, 2027 is going to be a bad year for mankind as it relates to what AI is going to, the impact it's going to have, already having. And the people who are telling you that, the first people who are being replaced are the people that have been doing the coding. So for the first time, especially in this particular company I'm telling you about, Anthropic, their models are being developed by AI. AI is improving AI. The people up until last year, human beings were developing and coding. 2026, we have crossed the line. We can no longer keep up with the coding that AI is able to do for itself. It is improving itself. That is what completely takes it out of the category of tool. Your hammer no improve itself. Your wheel no improve itself. Machines do not improve themselves. This is the first technology where you have something where the work by your own at becoming better at what it does. So it is Frankenstein stuff, to be honest with you. It's a Frankenstein. We have created Frankenstein. This is all that we're doing here, and it's not as many of the experts say, there are different ways we can go about doing this, because they will tell you about the good that it can achieve. It could find the cure for cancer. It could, all the different things it could do. All the different things of ultimately creating this technology and the power that it would be. Yeah. But the recklessness in these companies' race for the God power is the most dangerous race. It's more dangerous than our quest for the power of the sun, which is what nuclear weapons represent, the power of the sun. This race is more dangerous because we are racing for the power of intelligence, and we are not developing our ability and the game plan to control it. The conundrum is this: how do you create something and your aim? And I'm not, some people might say they will never reach that, and all the different scenarios that will not be allowed. The creator is going to stop it. But let us work on what we have right here in front of us. The concept of creating something that potentially will be smarter than you, but is going to be obedient to you. Find a scenario where human beings would be subordinate to chickens. Find a scenario where any species you could find that is less intelligent than another species, where it is subordinate to it. It's not. It doesn't happen. But we are betting that we are going to develop this thing. It's going to have this awesome power of intelligence, but it's going to be serving us. That is the problem. And another thing I want to dash before I put it back to you, sister, because you really make I go where I had no intention of go down this today, and people must say, get off of that already. It's important on an everyday basis to make as many of our people understand them by how they play around with our lives. One small group of human beings on the face of the earth are making choices right now where could present some awful impact and realities for we. Not since the development of nuclear weapons, human beings they play with something where could go mad. And the difference between we're playing around with nuclear energy is that we could show you a bomb and show you where it do, and people could understand, boy, that deadly. So we could blow up a bomb and show you where the damage where it do, and people could say, well, that I afraid for. It's hard for make people understand something could dangerous with the inside of this computer, inside of your phone. It's hard. It's hard for many people to understand the danger of something where we can't really understand when they talk about something artificially intelligent. And then for understand, but I want to just finish with this. And this is the part where the worst part for me, where all of them admit. And you might say, how the hell that could be? They do not know how it works. Do you understand that, sister?
I hear you, but
it's hard for
you something. Yeah, you get it.
Okay, so I want when you come off of this. So when you come off of this call, I want you to Google. What is the black box problem with AI? What is the black box problem with AI? Sorry that they have to use the word black again with our problem, sister, but they have. what is the black box problem with AI? And the black box problem is that they put in things into a box. They do not understand how the hell, what happens inside the box that then produces the results where you the experience as the user of any one of these models. They don't know how it works. And they are now just now deciding we have to find out how the thing works. How the hell we are so far down this road, but we can't tell you how it works. Like they know how they train it. They know when they put in. They know what the large language model is. They know how they develop it. They got people all around the world where they train it. Where they got a training. That training. You start out from just one letter and you build up. And then all of a sudden, then tell this thing do this, and this is the way it produce. They do not understand what happens inside that box. And so the big experts that have walked away from this technology say, we should stop this today until we understand the black box, till we understand what is going on in there. We need to put one pause on it. But as you know, sister, the potential of being the most powerful and richest company on the face of the earth is too irresistible for the capitalists. So even though they know to themselves, they admit it. They admit that they are not the one where they do it, you know. They admit that there is a 30% chance that this could go really, really bad. 30% now a high percent, sister. From the people in way got the most to gain from it. So you could more or less say it must be higher than that. So all this stem from your question where you asked me. And the question was what I feel about the fact that when you go and read some article or you read some essay or you read some poem online and I tell you as you send it to me, sister, don't send that to me, that the AI. And the only reason I know that is because I play around with it a lot. And I read a lot about it, and then you start to realize, oh, they are not the patterns, that this is the stage where they're right now, this is the way it could do good, this is the way it can't do good right now, and they are not the kind of things we give it problems and it did at that level right now, but I am not fooled. The improvement rate of this thing is mad. Within 6 months to a year, I can't do that. It will become far better. Every time it come out, it come better. So that one another bit of as if we need more things to worry about. Well, sorry that way they Tuesday morning big blame Sister Yaya. Absolutely, that you came in that.
Because that's why I like how people around me will know more than me and different than me. And because I know this kind of rabbit hole where you go down regularly, I said, my guy was call and I know if it happened to me, it happened to other people. My guy was call and we can't have this conversation now.
My news people say nobody out there really cares, so that's why it is being used the way it's being used. And say people could see it, and say a lot of people could look on it and know that they read things were produced by AI. I think you should at least. I think where you need to do now, like if you post something, say non-AI commentary. If I write anything and put it up, that's how I want to put it. And put non-AI commentary. I make you know. Huh?
Squeeze the scene real quick. I can see I go squeeze the scene real quick.
Yeah.
The Labor Department, they have focus group discussions as a part of the comprehensive review of the labor law.
Yeah.
And I don't ask, it might just be a checkbox moment because of the way it usually happens. But I still want to alert people who said and represent other people's interests that the deadline for applying for it is May 7th, 2026, which is also my 68th Earth Strong. But this is why it's important that people know the four groups, the four focus groups.
Ah.
They have one called traditional industry workers group, farmer, agricultural worker, fisher folk, fishers worker, tourism worker, tour guide, hotel operator, construction worker, mason, carpenter, laborer, utilities worker, BEL, BTL, WASA, waste control, cable. That's the traditional industry workers group. They could join face-to-face or virtual. They're at different locations. You have the professional workers group, nurse, healthcare worker, teacher, educator, lab technician, accountant, finance professional, public officer, technical role, human resource manager, realtor. No, I'm not saying nothing for media. Then they have another group with a skilled, semi-skilled, unemployed group. Hospitality worker, housekeeping, waiter, bartender, domestic worker, caregiver, skilled tradesperson, mechanic, electrician, carpenter, security guard, driver, unemployed, apprentice, trainee, sales and customer service. And then the final group, what they call post-transition new economy workers group. Retrenched worker, re-entering workforce, BPO, call center worker, freelance, IT, design, online work, contract worker, and that's a short-term contract worker and some other things. So I alert, really, if we had unions that work and they don't work, this is what I saw with the front line, and it's time and here labor come out with it. So I just said to Belizean people, we have to make it be for we business. This is for we business that we have to try join virtually, go to the face-to-face, go to the Labor Department's Facebook page, and they explain everything to you. You have to sign up with your email, for example, and they ask you like your name, your if you're a male, female, what your street address, if you're available for virtual or face-to-face. And they holler, and they ring the bell. I can't call you for the rest of the week. The deadline is Thursday.
I would hope that all of that when they look for review, that they do start to put in preemptive protections to deal with AI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm glad you bring it up, brother.
Yeah, they need to put it in. I think that we have a responsibility to make sure that people are very aware and make sure that they know where they go on. Again, the people when they watch it on Facebook, YouTube, I have not, and even when you host, we tend to not deal with the comments. People could comment, we don't really get engaged with it, and we don't put your comments out. We're gonna start do a bit more of that, so please feel encouraged. We do read all the comments, sister. Yeah, I know you read the comments, I read the comments, but Facebook, they're not a platform where I want to get sucked into because it's designed for conflict. The model is built for conflict. At the same time, though, we want you to know that we value where you take time out to type. So right now, if you got some comment where you want to put out about AI, where you feel about it, you don't give a damn about it, you know why you're not more about it, make sure we know. Right there in our comment section on Facebook, right there in our comment section on YouTube, and then we could know where you feel. We could know whether or not we are ever bring up the topic again. But since you bring up the topic, I just want I've had this article. It's not an article; it's a post, and I've had it since February. And from the time I put it, I said I'm not into reading, but I want to read this to people. It is a post from an engineer who used to work on the chat GPT, as we know. And the person left and put one post up on Twitter, and the post get viral. So when I got the post, it don't get read by 85 million people already. This is in February. Reported on by CNN, MSNBC, and some other channel. That's how. So why they give you the some crackpot? They put out something. That is how weight the post carried. Being that this is somebody where This are the work when they do. And I just want to read a little bit of it to make you understand where I would have said the people who presently they're in that sphere, they deal with. This person said,
I just want to make a note because this woman is a black woman and she may get from my radar. Her name is Timit Gebru.
Yeah.
And Google Fire, and she's an AI ethics founder and Google Fire because I do exactly what you said. Got you know?
yes. So this person said, think back to February 2020. If you were paying close attention, you might have noticed a few people talking about a virus spreading overseas, but most of us weren't paying close attention. The stock market was doing great, your kids were in school, you were going to restaurants and shaking hands and planning trips. If someone told you they were stockpiling toilet paper, you would have thought they'd been spending too much time on a weird corner of the internet. Then, over the course of about 3 weeks, the entire world changed. Your office closed, your kids came home, and life rearranged itself into something you wouldn't have believed if you described it to yourself a month earlier. I think we're in the this seems overblown phase of something much more bigger than COVID. I have spent 6 years building an AI startup and investing in this space. I live in this world, and I'm writing this for the people in my life who don't. My family, my friends, the people I care about, who keep asking me, so what's the deal with AI? And getting an answer that doesn't do justice to what's actually happening. I keep giving them the polite version, the cocktail party version, because the honest version sounds like I have lost my mind. And for a while, I told myself that was a good reason to keep what's truly happening to myself. But the gap between what I have been saying and what is actually happening has gotten far too big. The people I care about deserve to hear what is coming, even if it sounds crazy. I should be clear about something upfront. Even though I work in AI, I have almost no influence over what's about to happen, and neither does the vast majority of the industry. The future is being shaped by a remarkably small number of people. A few hundred researchers at a handful of companies, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google DeepMind, and a few others. A single training run managed by a small team over a few months can produce an AI system that shifts the entire trajectory of the technology. Most of us who work in AI are building on top of foundations we didn't lay. We are watching this unfold the same as you. We just happen to be close enough to feel the ground shake first. But it's time now, not in an eventually we should talk about this way, in a this is happening right now and I need you to understand it. Here's the thing nobody outside of tech quite understands yet. The reason so many people in the industry are sounding the alarm right now is because this already happened to us. We are not making predictions. We are telling you what already occurred in our own jobs and warning you what is next. For years, AI has been improving steadily. Big jumps here and there. But each big jump was spaced out enough that you can absorb them as they came. Then in 2025, new techniques for building these models unlocked a much faster pace of progress. And then it got even faster, and then faster again. Each new model wasn't just better than the last, it was better by a wider margin. And the time between new bundle releases was shorter. I was using AI more and more, going back and forth with it less and less, watching it handle things I used to think required my expertise. Then, on February 5th, this year, 2 major AI labs released 2 new models on the same day. Chat 5.3 from OpenAI and Opus 4.6 from Anthropic, the makers of Claude, one of the main competitors to ChatGPT, and something clicked. Not like a light switch, more like the moment you realize the water has been rising around you and now it is at your chest. I am no longer needed for the actual technical work of my job. I describe what I want built in plain English and it just appears. Not a rough draft I need to fix. The finished thing. I tell the AI what I want, walk away from my computer for 4 hours and come back to find the work done. Done well. Done better than I would have done it myself with no corrections needed. A couple of months ago, I was going back and forth with the AI, guiding it, making edits. Now I just describe the outcome and leave. Let me give you an example so you can understand what this actually looks like in practice. I tell the AI I want to build this app. Here's what it should do. Here's roughly what it should look like. Figure out the user flow, the design, all of it. And it does. It writes tens of thousands of lines of code. Then, and this is the part that would have been unthinkable a year ago, it opens the app itself. It clicks through the buttons. It tests the features. It uses the app the way a person would. If it doesn't like how something looks or feels, it goes back and changes it on its own. It iterates like a developer would, fixing and refining until it's satisfied. Only once it has decided the app meets its own standards does it come back to me and says, it is ready for you to test. And when I test it, it's usually perfect. I'm not exaggerating. This is what my Monday looked like this week. But it was the model that was released last week that shook me the most. It wasn't just executing my instructions, it was making intelligent decisions. It had something that felt for the first time like judgment, like taste, the inexplicable sense of knowing what the right call is that people always said AI would never have. This model has it, or something close enough that the distinction is starting not to matter. I've always been early to adopt AI tools, but the last few months have shocked me. These new AI models aren't incremental improvements. This is a different thing entirely. And here's why this matters to you, even if you don't work in tech. The AI labs made a deliberate choice. They focus on making AI great at writing code first, because building AI requires a lot of code. If AI can write that code, it can help build the next version of itself, a smarter version, which writes better code, which builds an even smarter version. Making AI great at coding was a strategy that unlocks everything else. That's why they did it first. My job started changing before yours, not because they were targeting software engineers. It was just a side effect of where they chose to aim first. They have now done it, and they are moving on to everything else. The experience that tech workers have had for the past year of watching AI go from helpful tool to does my job better than I do is the experience everyone else is about to have. Law, finance, medicine, accounting, consulting, writing, design, analysis, customer service, not in 10 years. The people building these systems say 1 to 5 years. Some say less. And given what I've seen in just the last couple of months, I think less is more likely. Quote, but I tried AI and it wasn't that good. I hear this constantly. I understand it because it used to be true. If you tried ChatGPT in 2023 or early 2024 and thought, this makes stuff up, this isn't that impressive, you were right. Those early versions were genuinely limited. They hallucinated. They confidently said things that were nonsense. That was 2 years ago. In AI time, that is ancient history. The models available today are unrecognizable from what existed even 6 months ago. The debate of whether AI is really getting better or hitting a wall, which has been going on for over a year, is over. It's done. Anyone still making that argument either hasn't used the current models, has an incentive to downplay what is happening, or is evaluating based on an experience from 2024 that is no longer relevant. I don't say that to be dismissive. I say it because the gap between public perception and current reality is now enormous, and that gap is dangerous because it's preventing people from preparing. Part of the problem is that most people are using the free version of AI tools. The free version is over a year behind what paying users have access to. Judging AI based on free tier ChatGPT is like evaluating the state of smartphones by using a flip phone. The people paying for the best tools and actually using them daily for real work know what's coming. I think of my friend who is a lawyer, and I keep telling him to try using AI at his firm, and he keeps finding reasons it won't work. It's not built for his specialty. It made an error when he tested it. It doesn't understand the nuance of what he does, and I get it. But I have had partners at major law firms reach out to me for advice because they have tried the current versions and they see where this is going. One of them, the managing partner at a large firm, spends hours every day using AI. He told me it's like having a team of associates available instantly. He's not using it because it's a toy. He's using it because it works. And he told me something that stuck with me. Every couple of months, it gets significantly more capable for his work. He says if it stays on this trajectory, he expects it will be able to do most of what he does before long. And he's a managing partner with decades of experience. He's not panicking, but he's paying very close attention. The people who are ahead in their industries, the one actually experimenting seriously, are not dismissing this. They are blown away by what it can already do, and they are positioning themselves accordingly. Let me make the pace of improvement concrete, because I think this is the part that's hardest to believe if you're not watching it closely. In 2022, AI couldn't do basic arithmetic reliably. It would confidently tell you that 7 times 8 equals 54. By 2023, it could pass the bar exam. By 2024, it could write working software and explain graduate-level science. By late 2025, some of the best engineers in the world said they had handed over most of their coding work to AI. On February 5th, 2026, new models arrived that made everything before them feel like a different era. If you haven't tried AI in the last few months, what exists today would be unrecognizable to you. There is an organization called Meteor that actually measures this with data. They track the length of real-world tasks measured by how long they take a human experts that a model can compete successfully end-to-end without human help. About a year ago, the answer was roughly 10 minutes. Then it was an hour, then several hours. The most recent measurement for Claude Opus showed the AI completing tasks that take a human expert nearly 5 hours. And that number is doubling approximately every 7 months, with recent data suggesting it may be accelerating to as fast as every 4 months. But even that measurement has been updated to include the models that just came out this week, which will be in February. In my experience using them, the jump is extremely significant. The article continues. I will just reference the name and you can go and find the post, because I think for anybody that wants to understand where we are in this present challenge that we face, it is Matt's Humor. That's at MATTSHUMER, and you will find that post, and you will be able to go and check it out and find out. We are not playing around with a toy. For the purpose of richness, glory, and power, we have a very small group of companies and human beings that are rolling the dice on billions of people, rolling the dice on our careers and professional opportunities across the world. And it will mean richness and power. Best case scenario, it will be crazy profit, crazy power, concentrated like never before. That's the best case scenario. And I don't want to get into the worst case scenario. We are not playing around with one of these simidilly things. AI is one of the most dangerous things we have taken up as a species. And even if that sounds like some kind of, exaggeration, even if that sounds hyperbolic, I am confident in stating it. That's what I am convinced of. Sister?
Big respect. Thanks to the research, brother. Thanks to read the article. What the article name?
It's a post. So you write the name of the individual, and you can generally, Google is going to take you directly to that post because it's so viral.
Big respect.
All
Only
right.
organized to save the people.
All right, this is WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We're going to go to 2 cents calm kind of way beside the break. We take a break after that, and I promise you when I come back, it's not going to be about AI. We got other stuff to talk about. It's Tuesday morning, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes right here on Creme Radio on the XTV.
You're watching WB and this is XTV. Big respect to our sponsors, 4 Point Security. And right now the people are mad and upset because the price of gas gone up again. So I could go find out the people at 2 cents and see how they feel about it.
don't control nothing, brother. You don't run nothing. You don't run nothing, sir.
That you're too saying.
The damn people running.
That you're
too saying on the gas station, gas station, brother. Right? Life hard everywhere. On the shelf, everywhere you go. For taxi man, it's very difficult sometimes to try to go over $10 because the people, they feel it in every sense of the way. Right? So we try to work with the people. Right? For me personally, if I tell somebody $15 or $10 and they say, man, I only gonna get, I take it because at the end of the day I have to eat. You understand me? Vehicle parts have to buy. You know, so I try to work with everybody, but some people are just difficult. You know, I'm very insulting. We are stuck.
You don't think you cut down on the business?
Of course it has an effect on the business. Right? If you used to got 50 people to carry every day, you know, I'm gonna leave 30. Because everybody can afford it. You know, some people are what? They want it, and some they can't afford it. You know?
You're too saying.
That's my 2 cents.
How you feel about the gas?
Yes.
Like how you got up?
Who the benefit of the gas?
What are your 2 cents?
I don't know about 2 cents.
Give me your 2 cents.
Yeah, man, I with the struggle, boss. I with the struggle with this gas. Since I raise the gas now, we decide to raise the taxi, but we have a lot of people right now where can't afford taxi right now. They just try usually smart to try cash taxi. But we as taxi man, sometimes we have to raise the price too because so €8 per go really no worth 10 again with the price we can of the gas. You understand? So
your 2 cents.
My 2 cents would be that big.
Your 2 cents.
That's a chance. That's injustice.
That's your 2 cents.
Every great job starts at Brothers Habet with the best supplies and the right support, including free delivery on site, so you can focus on the job. Brothers Habet, working with contractors since 1983.
The success of my business means a lot to my family, especially my brother, because I'm continuing his legacy, making butterfly art collages. It was very hard for me to receive payments. I had to go directly to meet the person I'm purchasing from and who I'm selling to receive payment. Because I opened my business account with Atlantic Bank, now I can make and receive payments online, and this has made my job much easier.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
This is a learning experience, and this event is all about you guys. Give it a chance. Maybe a competition you partake in sparks a passion in you you never knew you had. I had no idea how much I love coding until I actually explored it. We need more girls in IT.
In Belize, analysis supported by UNICEF highlights that girls between 15 and 24 use computers less frequently than boys. Regardless of whether they live in urban or rural areas, regardless of their family situation, their economic situation, or even their level of education. This gap matters because digital access today determines opportunities for tomorrow.
Be Like a Girl was never just about technology. It was about creating a space where girls can see themselves differently, where they can realize they don't have to shrink to fit into spaces. They can grow and transform them, where they understand that they are not just users of technology, but creators, innovators, and leaders.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. Smart, bringing people together.
Electricity is essential for everyday life, but behind every outlet, a lot is happening to bring you safe, reliable, and sustainable energy. Let's start at the beginning. Independent power producers across Belize generate electricity using a mix of renewable and non-renewable resources. Electricity travels across a network of high-voltage transmission lines capable of transmitting electricity across long distances. Electricity then reaches your nearest substation, where it is adjusted to a lower voltage, making it safe to travel on the distribution lines you see in your community. From there, electricity makes its final journey from the distribution lines to your home, providing you with safe and reliable power when you need it. We continue to serve you.
When the job calls, you need a truck that works as hard as you do. Strong, reliable, and built for the load. The Jack Freight Truck gets the job done. From the lumberyard to the work site, power your business with confidence. I can count on Jack to get the job done right.
WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Mose is in the house with you on this Tuesday morning, the 5th of May, 2026. Right here on Crumb Radio and XTV. Telephone number is 280-5848. Sonia Allen, thank you for your contributions on Facebook. Remember, tell her what you like and what you feel like. We'll try to pay more attention to one and say, put it out there. She said in 2004, I watched the movie I, Robot. Showed us the possibility of AI. If it was frightening then, still frightening, and the makers are people who have issue with black peoples, and these are the people involved. If we think it was tough, it will get tougher. Thank you very much, sister, for participating. You can do so on Facebook and YouTube, of course. While we wait for you to call in, one of the things I wanted to just point out and give some respect to, we hear that the Minister of Education, the Honorable Francis Fonseca, had to do open heart surgery. So we want to wish him well. It's a major surgery. and we of course hope that he has a full and speedy recovery. I am also of the view, I see some people who have commented on the post that our news team put up on XTV, that they are struck by the fact that that a surgery of this magnitude for somebody of this status was done at the KHMH. It's a great moment for the KHMH. Big respect. I'm sure that they must be very, very proud. You know, like the KHMH is always viewed, you know, it's like it's some kind of low grade facility. I don't know, give respect. You know, that the minister chose to do this particular, I don't know what the circumstances were. We don't know a lot of details about what happened, but obviously, you know, like, yeah, put politics aside, put all of that, you know, that, you know, we generally stay upon the matter of criticizing and whatever, but it's obviously some people are surprised, but I think it's just, I don't know how it happened, but it has to be pointed out, recognized that the Minister of Education did a very serious surgery at the KHMH, and you know, we wish him well. We hope it, but we also want to congratulate the KHMH, man. Big work. We have a you know, I have a personal young lady to me that's going to be doing a similar surgery tomorrow, right, Sister Yaya? All the best to you, Ash. We are, of course, with you and hoping that everything is going to work out for you, but it's a big surgery and going to KHMH, and it is absolutely a great moment and gives us a sense of encouragement, knowing that we have somebody there to us that's going to be doing a similar surgery. Krem, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This morning, we are wanted to make Belizeans know how much our taxpayers with subsidiary to diesel will cost us for one route from Punta Gorda to Belize City for the 90 days they have contracted. Punta Gorda, Belize is 210 miles one way. So round trip will be 420 miles. Diesel on a bus gives about 10 miles per gallon. The newer ones give 12.
Yeah.
So you're getting 10 miles per gallon. So that's 42 gallons per round trip. Belize City and Punta Gorda, Belize.
Yeah.
On that note, subsidiary at $3 per gallon will be $126 for every bus, one bus. $126 for every trip they make. 126 times 90 days for the 3 months will be 11,340 for the 3 months. You have trips out of Punta Gorda, around 8 buses per day. That's the average, 8 buses per day. So those 8 buses for 90 days will be taxpayers' money. Our money will be paying will be $1,020,000 for those 3 months. That's almost guaranteed. It's not like the banana and citrus has been asking for a subsidiary for over 30 years. They have not gotten it. Why? Because it could not be monitored. But yet, we discriminate and we give the sugar people subsidiary for quite a while now. But if people from banana or citrus never get it. So I just wanted to tell the Belizean people we are paying for them just one route.
Can I push back?
Yes.
So I think it's a very fair comparison to look at, okay, the decision making to providing a subsidy for people in sugar and comparing it with people who are in the banana and citrus. That's a fair comparison. And I love the fact that you've done the arithmetic to say exactly what is the value of the support, the subsidy that is going to be given to the public transport sector, the bus owners. I would argue that while it is technically a taxpayer situation, that this subsidy is in light of the fact that the cost of diesel has gone up, and the way that our system is designed, it presents a windfall bonus one brought to the government. So since we have a war in Iran, diesel has gone up. So really what is being subsidized, or what is ultimately being given back, is not something that was already there. They're really sharing the bonus, and sharing the bonus doesn't go into the pockets of the bus owners. It is going into keeping the cost of the cost to the commuters who are traveling along this route, who ultimately are taxpayers themselves. So yes, I love that you've done it, and I love the fact that you are analyzing it and looking and doing the cost benefit on it and say, is this good or bad? And you are entitled to your view of it, to say, well, you don't agree because you're a taxpayer and you have that right. I'm just pushing back and say, but we have to look at the bigger picture here as well, and look at where ultimately this ease is coming from, the context of it. No, if when we look the diesel price, which it's not going to, I'm not trying to be a prophet. This price is not going to go down right now. I don't see it going down within the next 90 days. But let's say a miracle does happen and the price should fall next week back down to its previous levels. Now you can look at that subsidy and say, do we maintain the subsidy? Because now you're looking at it is not as it relates to this fuel cost crisis that we face because of the war in Iran. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that diesel will be going close to $20 per gallon within this 3 months period.
Right.
And I say Iran backing down.
Right.
They're very stubborn that way.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, I could see it excellent. It's at a rate to partner a full-blown war before this week done.
Very likely.
And what I am seeing, what I'm observing, Iran saved Cuba. If Trump may get away in 2 days and get Iran, warships would have been parking outside Cuba's shores at the moment. And America got one base that Miami, where they could oversee command invasion of Cuba.
But I get that, and I agree with you. I really appreciate the way you put it. I feel like that is just a fact. The Iranians have, by pushing back and not just caving in, as it seemed was the expectation by some, it has delayed the march of the U.S. Foreign policy agenda, what they call now the Dunwoody Doctrine. Yeah, they have stated Cuba is next. The President of the United States has stated Cuba is next. That no take long. We don't take more than 1 day to deal with that. But right now we're gonna delay. The only time we could deal with them 1 year, and then no one will come to Cuba. So yes, I would agree with you if you're not Cuban and you're a person where no wants to Cuba just get knocked down and get imposed upon. You say, well, you know what, boy, Iran, thank you. I get that. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, but but you've not you know rebut me. Me saying, and it's fair that you put the citrus and banana and compare it and voice, okay, so where we have a preferential treatment with sugar versus banana and citrus, why would banana and citrus not have gotten that kind of support? I think that is that's fair game. I was kind of pushing back on whether or not it is a fair situation for the government to put the subsidy support for the bus owners when you understand that is directly coming out of a surplus tax as a result of the war in Iran, and ultimately it is going to benefit the people who have to commute from PG to Belize.
So, on it, we're not talking about Western and Northern Run.
Yes, but it's the argument remains the same, though. It doesn't. The run is not the run does not change the analysis. It's still based on the subsidies being provided, but it's coming out of a surplus benefit, which, if the tax system was different, there would be no such surplus, and in that instant, you would say, okay, this is one direct negative result for the overall public coffers coming out of taxpayers' money. But this is different because this was one incoming as a result of the increase on the diesel. They're essentially helping out the cost of public transport, which would ultimately fall on the wallets of commuters. You see?
Okay, Mose. Thanks. Have a pleasant day.
All right. I respect your contribution. I love the maths. You're breaking it down to show, what we're looking at. I'm just kind of disagreeing whether it's a fair intervention or not. But you don't think so? I think I am of the view it's a fair intervention. It's what, when this crisis was going on, our position was there has to be protection for the wallets of commuters. That was my view. It's 30 minutes after 8 o'clock. Krem, good morning, WUB.
Morning, Mose. I called back because of that conversation just now. And somebody bring up the point, I think it happened on another media house, and Brother Akko talked about it Sunday, that I don't think that point I hear from we media house. Is that when it comes to transportation, the person make the point in New York, it's not a profit-making business. Then keep the fare for public transportation in New York as affordable as possible, because when that happens, then more people could go to work, could go to schools, the money circulating in the economy. And I don't hear that conversation, and Brother Akko make the same thing with China and housing. It's not that they don't have capitalists like China, but they make the point that they don't have like private school anymore. That they don't human rights, like housing now a human right, and transportation now a human right. And I don't hear that mindset that believes it's about making profit of a transportation. I want to hear 2 cents on that.
In light of the subsidy, I think because if you are asking the people who have made the investment to provide the service, because this is not a government initiative. These are private people who have invested in their bus. There's a great number of them. I can't see how I would have a problem with them wanting to have some returns on their investment. I think there is a balance. I do agree that the government has a responsibility to ensure that public transport is available and affordable, and to some extent you can give credit to the fact that I don't know when exactly it was put in place, but the pricing mechanism, it's one of those industries where you have price control. So that's different. Nobody has a price control over the ads that I sell. Nobody has price control over if I have a concert, or if I have a dance and I'm having an event, or if I am doing a barbecue. Nobody has price control over that. But there is a price control over public transport in our country.
Do you think it's because, and it make a think about the school system, really if the state made do what the state for though, that the state would be responsible for transportation and education. But because from day one, that never the state jump out on that, the individual private owners jump out on, and so we got a transportation system. And in the school system, the majority of the state-based people will run schools. That because at the point, and I go back to this conversation, and I hear from Sister Sandra Corina a while we talk about nation building, that there was no serious conversation about what it takes to build one nation, and that having the state responsible for housing or for transportation or for education ought to be one holistic and serious undertaking, similarly to how you ring the bell, and others, but I just say you, about this AI situation. And so it takes the bus company, the Police Bus Association, for hold the Ministry of Transport accountable for the Prime Minister come out and say something. But before that, they say nothing, even though we see what happened with the war. That not having that forward thinking in our political leaders leads to moments like these. Would you agree to that analysis? Or what?
I think that is true in many areas. That a lot of the in so many areas, like our disregard for planning, urban space, zoning, there is just problems that we inherit because of poorly designed plans, or the absence of plans, the absence of planning. But I am speaking directly to your concern about whether transportation should be for profit or not, and I'm saying that it is a unique industry because there has been there is a structure in place that protects the commuters. That has been in place, and again, it has been in place while it has. You want it to be in a way where there is a balance where you try to maintain a fare that makes sure that the workforce can move from point A to point B, that students can move from point A to point B. I think there's also been I think there's also a special rate for students on buses. These are things which have been implemented. Other industries are not similarly controlled. So there has been an awareness that, listen, there's some things which we ultimately had a consciousness about. Like we not get 0 on the exam. We pass. I think one of the presidents had famously said, in the US, even a broken clock is right 2 times for the day. It's okay to say we had a level of consciousness about trying to protect access to and affordability when it comes to public transport. Now, have we developed and advanced and given enough support and been involved enough to try to make sure that the product was marching forward in quality, in efficiency? No. So then we end up with the misguided, ill-conceived adventure of the early 2000s when there was an attempt to try to move the move to create a monopoly situation. We've also have to deal with the kind of undesirable politicization of the distribution of road permits for bus owners. So entrance into that industry to an extent become a way how you deal with rewarding political supporters. So it deeply politicized over the years. These are the unpleasant realities involved with public transport. But when it comes to being concerned about trying to control the cost, all the administrations have been a part of trying to do their best in that regard, except when they were about to monopolize and to make sure the money makes sense, they were about to increase the fares, and that resulted in a huge showdown in Benke when we had protesters at that time who were shot with live fire. It is one of definitely an ugly day in post-independence Belize. It's one of our ugly days. The day when we had that riot and live fire was used on young people in Benke, when we had a sugarcane farmer killed on Tower Hill. These are days that stand out in our going to 45 years of statehood here in Belize, no?
The last question.
Yeah.
When the CEO for the Ministry of Transport will be your guest?
I don't know. Look like the man stay farm me, man. The man me tell me to wait for the next day. I don't hear from the man, and I don't really link on back. I want link on back. I don't know. I don't think there are feelings, but maybe I have to put him on the spot and see if he can come back. I mean, know you want to bring that up.
Because you know me good.
Yeah, you hear me comments on the Minister of Education doing heart surgery at KHMH, knowing that we have one dear loved one of ours we're in today. No, I think it's a great. We need to make more of that. No, we want the best for Minister Francis Fonseca as a human being. Open heart surgery that nothing to play with. That's a serious thing. That one serious operation, and we hope that all goes well and is successful. I think the news what needs to be highlighted is that this was done at the KHMH. We have to celebrate that. And I know it's not the first open heart surgery at the KHMH, but as people want to know when we are end up on our back and need KHMH for the FOA, man, it's a good day.
Indeed, guys, if I ever have to go to hospital at KHMH, I go in. But and again, it was surprising to me primarily because politicians don't usually go to public hospital for especially any kind of procedure, brother. Then they look for flout or go to a private hospital. So respect to the minister, indeed.
Respect.
For ministers to the public hospital.
Respect. I mean, respect. That it's unusual. That's my view. It's surprising. Let's be honest. It's surprising. I don't know what you all feel, listeners and viewers, people on Facebook, YouTube. You could, if you have a feeling or how you think about it, make a comment and we'll put it out on Facebook or YouTube. How you feel? Do you think it should be the norm that if it is, this is the hospital, the public hospital that our leaders are responsible for? They should be willing and to say, okay, I believe in what we have created here. I think that makes that is such a big statement, man. And some people, yeah. And for me, like I know, our sister is going to be doing the surgery. It gives me a sense of, man, I feel more, positive and anxious because I want serious surgery for the open heart, man. That's no everyday thing.
That's true, that, but I'm a concern when the sister tell me, and I'm like, I trust the process, and boom, within 48 hours of people for surgery. I ain't keep it on a wrap because we don't know till the surgery don't happen.
Yeah.
I don't really want to know who that the doctors are. Like, them people deserve limelight. Like, yes, big man. Time, and people deserve limelight.
Yes, man. I want to know the surgeons, man. Yeah, I want to know that. I definitely want to know that. Get in their respect, man. It's like...
We don't hesitate for whole KHMH accountable and not happy their service. And I appreciate you lead the charge at big respect to KHMH and their surgeons whether that open heart surgery. And we need to see and know who no car we want healing up a road.
It makes me remember one of the foundational callers that we have lost. There's a Goff. She used to call the show all the time. Was a fan of the WB and a former matron at KHMH, and she was the defender of KHMH and all things KHMH. Really give you a sense of, listen, this is a free hospital, and every hospital around the world have feel as the biggest, fanciest hospitals have made mistakes with medications, have caused patients to die. Yes, KHMH has bad moments, bad days, and things where we hold it accountable for. We definitely stand by those, but we also want the best for KHMH because that most of our people going, and we have to feel one sense of, we have to be fair to it. And it's been going through some difficulties. This is a big moment for it, man. Respect, man. I don't got no problem at all. I don't got no apology for feel good about it. I feel good about it, sister, and I have to say it. And you know, I don't got no apology. We not the business of criticize, and we don't apologize.
People are comfortable.
I don't care. I could say it in a most unpleasant version.
Constructive critique.
we prefer for bun. We prefer for bun. We wired that way. We prefer it for bun. We are not a cheerleading type. That's just everybody gonna enroll, you know.
Yes, brother. Yes,
everybody gonna enroll.
Yes,
sir. Give thanks for the call.
One love.
We're gonna break. We'll be back. This is WB. Wake Up Billy's Morning Vibes.